Hi, my name is Vincent Simone, and in today's lesson, I'm going to show you how to get more power on your one-handed backhand. Let's begin. So right off the bat, the one-handed backhand is usually done incorrectly by people not turning enough, okay? And this is where a lot of people lose most of their power. Now, we do not call it a turn, we're going to call it a coil instead. And we want to feel like our racket barely moves. As you noticed, what's moving is my bigger muscles, okay? Our body needs to move more than the racket if we want to have swing efficiency. So what we're going to do is we're going to keep the racket in line with our belly button. And when we do our coil, we're going to make our turn a grip change and a shoulder turn. Now, once we get sideways, we need to get more than sideways because we stay sideways during the hit on the backhand. So if we want to get power, we need to get more than sideways. There's going to be two major checkpoints which will tell you if you have properly coiled on your one-handed backhand. Checkpoint number one is the front shoulder getting underneath your chin, okay? By doing this, you should be just peeking over your shoulder and your back should be basically pointing towards the net, okay? And this would be a full coil. Now, checkpoint number two. At this point in the swing, we've shifted our weight to the outside leg. And as we take a step, we're gonna have a racket drop and it's gonna fall into the slot position. Now, you will know that you have coiled enough and you're gonna get as much racket head speed as possible if your strings are pointing to the back fence, okay? I'm gonna remove myself from the shot for a second just so you can see that my racket face is basically parallel with the baseline, okay? And ideally, right, we wanna turn so much that our racket is essentially right lined up with the baseline and our strings are pointing to the back fence. Obviously, circumstances will not have this always to be the case, but strings pointing to the back fence at this point, right, in the racket drop is an excellent indicator that you have gotten, enough of a coil, because now our range of motion is going to be about double rather than if we just started from here. And that's a mistake that a lot of people make. A lot of people, includes myself, I used to do this where I only took the racket to about here, then I made a huge letter C. So just some bonus tips once you've done the two things that I recommended properly, getting the front shoulder underneath the chin and having the racket point back to the fence and the racket drop. There's a few other things that you want to do in order to get power. You want to avoid popping up as you hit. So when you hit, you want to feel like you hit and freeze. Stay down on the one-handed backhand, and the shifting of body weight, instead of being low to high, it should be back foot to front foot. Try and keep your head still and stable, okay? You don't want to bob up and down. Another thing to help you stay sideways is spreading the wings, okay? Doing this helps you not over-rotate into the shot, right? I say this to my students, pretend that you're on a surfboard, okay? Pretend that you're in the ocean. You don't want to surf with one hand because you're going to eat waves and become shark food. Okay, this blue tennis court, that's your ocean, so treat it accordingly. Spread the wings. Don't forget about the non-hitting hand, okay? Another tip, okay, why you might not have leverage on your one-handed backhand is because you're not keeping the racket head above the hand the whole time. Remember again, right, we don't want to get lazy when we turn. You don't want to drop the racket head down for those, low balls or balls at your waist. We're not coming low to high and flicking over the ball with our wrist. We need to get athletic and our body needs to move up and down like an elevator. So we want to keep the racket head above the hand the entire swing. And we want to get this early, okay? At this point in the turn, the tip of the racket should be pointing to the ceiling, okay? And then from here, we have the racket drop, and boom, at contact, right? It looks like, it's below my wrist, but it's not. That would be below my wrist. you have to pay attention to this angle right here, okay? Because even though it looks like my racket is just flat and my wrist isn't up, it is in fact up, because you can see the angle right here, okay? When I just bend my arm. Okay, but because the arm is straight and fully extended, it's hard to see, but this is what's happening with every good player who has a one-handed backhand, okay? Remember, don't contact with bent arms, L for leverage in the wrist, racket face up the whole time, and that arm needs to go from bent up against your body to straight, okay? Those are just a few bonus tips. Thought that I'd put that in there. In any event, thanks for tuning in, and use what you've learned to modernize your game. Tennis Doctor is a self-help tennis book for adults. You could have 40-inch biceps, rapid anticipation, fancy feet, and a brilliant mind, but if you have poor swing mechanics, you will never win. You can have slow reactions, terrible footwork, and be 40 pounds overweight, yet still make a good shot if you can produce a perfect swing. By reading Tennis Doctor, you own the secret to a perfect swing, and if we have to, we'll call you an Uber to get you to the ball in time. Read it now on Amazon. Tired of going down a rabbit hole of tennis videos? I have organized, categorized, and systemized the best tennis information for playing advanced level tennis, and I want you to have it. You can copy it, get better fast, and save time and money that you will never get back. Get started today by clicking the link down below.